Welcome to Side Note, real stories, real context across news, culture, and politics. I'm Brandon. Now, today's story, many of you may have been following this story. Investigators now believe that the 84-year-old mother of television host Savannah Guthrie was abducted from her Arizona home while she slept, and authorities are now treating this scene as a crime. Here's what we know so far and why this disappearance has drawn national attention. So, law enforcement in Arizona, they're investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. She's the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Nancy was last seen at her home in the Catalina Foothills area. That's in Tucson. It's a very nice area, very upscale area. That was on Saturday evening. Last she was seen, January 31st. And she was reported missing by family members the next day after she didn't show up for church, a planned service that she had planned to attend. And so now authorities have publicly stated that they believe she was abducted from her residence while she slept. And they don't believe that she left on her own. The Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanios, he said that investigators found conditions in the home that were very concerning. Never a good sign there. He said that they were inconsistent with a simple missing persons case, leading them to treat the property as an active crime scene. So Sheriff Nanios, he made it clear that Nancy Guthrie, she was mentally sharp, she was aware, she wasn't confused or disoriented, but she did have limited mobility and she couldn't walk long distances on her own, which is one of the reasons investigators say she likely did not just walk away from the home. Now, there are multiple factors that have shaped detectives' view that this incident, it reflects possible abduction. Nancy, she was last seen inside her home. That was late Saturday evening. No credible sign exists that she prepared to leave or travel alone. Her cell phone, her personal items, they remained at the residence, suggesting that she didn't plan to go anywhere. Authorities found circumstances that made them suspicious and led them to involve homicide and criminal investigation teams as well. Nancy, she requires daily medications. If she does miss any doses, that could become life-threatening. She has a pacemaker, so that makes the urgency of finding her even greater. So all of these elements, they've shaped the sheriff's conclusion that Nancy was taken against her will, possibly in the middle of the night. And right now, law enforcement, they've urged neighbors in the Catalina Foothills to review any home security footage, even cameras that don't directly face the residence. Just review them for any suspicious activity. Authorities, they're also reviewing Nancy's cell phone data, digital evidence. They're reviewing license plate readers and any other surveillance sources that could help narrow down some type of timeline or identify any type of person of interest. So at this stage, no suspect has been publicly named, and it's unclear whether foul play was random or whether this was targeted. So let's talk about Savannah Guthrie. She is a media personality. She co-anchors NBC's Today Show. She's very well known for what she does. She's done it for many years. She addressed her mother's disappearance on social media and through public statements. She thanked people for their support. She asked the public for prayers and for help in finding her mother, Nancy. She described her as someone with deep conviction and faith. In one post, Guthrie wrote, "Bring her home." And that's a plea that has resonated with fans, colleagues, and communities following this case. And it's important to note that Guthrie has not appeared on Today since reporting her mom missing, and she's been in Arizona assisting with the investigation and supporting her family. She's also no longer covering the Winter Olympics, which are slated to begin this week as well. So why is this case drawing national attention? Well, there are a few reasons why this disappearance has become such a widely covered news story. You have Savannah Guthrie's public profile. She's the co-anchor of Today since 2012. She's one of the highest paid news anchors in the country. She's well known. She's a national media figure. And when you think about her mother, you talk about the vulnerability of the missing person. Nancy, she's described as physically limited. She's relying on medication. That raises concern about her safety and her well-being if she does remain missing. And then also you have the crime scene circumstances. Law enforcement's decision to treat the home as a crime scene rather than a typical missing persons search, that indicates serious concern about possible criminal conduct. So those are never really good signs. But what authorities want from the public is Sheriff Nunez and the investigators, they're urging anyone who may have seen anything on the night of her disappearance, no matter how small, they're asking them to contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department immediately. So at this stage, even surveillance footage from nearby homes, street cameras, dashboard cameras, they could provide any crucial clues to this case. Law enforcement teams, including homicide investigators and support from federal agencies, they do remain engaged while just trying to piece together exactly what happened. So this case, it remains active, it's ongoing, and authorities are pushing forward on multiple investigative fronts, and family members are just asking for answers. They want answers. And our thoughts are with all those involved, Savannah and her family, as this search continues. That does it for today's Side Note News. Real stories, real context, news, culture, and politics.